So lately I've been getting a lot of questions about these powdered concentrated herbs here. So the first thing that's been coming up is the question of, okay, now I have this powder, now do I need to boil it? Do I need to make a tea out of it? How can I use it? Okay, so basically what this powder is you can look at it like it's a really concentrated, dehydrated tea almost. Which means that it's ready to use. You don't need to boil it, you don't need to do any further extraction because it's not just a ground up herb. Now, there are some herb powders on the market where they just take, I don't know, a reishi mushroom or some other kind of mushroom or herb or root and they just grind it up into a powder. Like for example, Mountain Rose sells a faux tea powder. Now basically what they did with that is they just took the root and they ground it up into a powder and that's it. So now with that, it's not concentrated and it's not extracted. So basically with that, you need to either make a tincture or a tea out of it. Whereas the Hushu that's on the Hyperion site, that's a concentrated extract. So basically what's been done is they've taken 8 pounds of Hoshu root, they put it in a big vat, filled it up with water, and then boiled it down and cooked it down into like 1 pound of concentrate. And they've evaporated out all the liquid. So all that's left is this really fine, really easily digested, really absorbable powder. So at that point, obviously you don't need to extract it, you don't need to boil it, you don't need to cook it, nothing. All you need to do is consume it. It's ready to consume, it's already extracted. So add it to your drinks, add it to your smoothies, tea, encapsulate it however you can get it in your body. The second question would be dosages. A lot of people have been saying, well, how much do I take? Some people have been taking like a tablespoon, which is a lot. I don't even take that much. I have before, but it's not really a good idea because they're so concentrated and it's, it can be too much for your body all at once. So a reasonable dosage would be half a teaspoon to a teaspoon 1 to 2 to 3 times a day, depending on, what you're doing, what you're going through. Most days on average, I take maybe 1 to 2 teaspoons of each herb at most. Sometimes I might do more. Sometimes I might do like a tablespoon of reishi broken up into 3 different dosages, throughout the day. Sometimes if I'm feeling really crazy, I'll do just like 1 tablespoon of reishi and a little bit of water and chug it down. That's not something I do every day. It would be okay to do because reishi is something you can do in large amounts and be okay. Other herbs could be a little too stimulating or a little too calming, or they could be hard to digest and absorb, and you could get some gas or things like that. But with reishi, in my experience, has been okay. Not that I recommend that. Dosage that I do recommend is, like I said, half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon, 1 to 2 to 3 times a day, depending on what you're feeling, what your goals are, what your budget is, things like that. And then obviously how to use it. The easiest way for me is I make a drink every morning and then usually at night as well. You can add it to if you're already making like fruit smoothies, you can add it to that. If you're making teas or whatever, after you're done with your tea, you can add a little bit in there, stir it up, it'll dissolve and you'll be ready to go. Or if you're making your own chocolates or raw desserts or things like that, you can just, add your powder directly in there. But for me, I usually make drinks, or I'll make myself a little chocolate bar and put it in there. So those are the main 2 questions, first being, now that I have the powder, do I need to boil it? The answer is no, it's already extracted, it's ready to use, no further processing is needed, which is part of the benefit because it's convenient, it's easy to use, and for most of these herbs, it's like for reishi mushroom, for example, or for hushubu or cordyceps or chaga or sustanche. It's really hard to really get in and break up all the stuff and get a good extraction. Now, tea is okay, but if you were to take, make yourself a chaga tea, taste, a couple cups of that, and then taste just a little taste of the chaga powder, and you'll see immediately that the taste is so much stronger with the concentrated extract powder because, using technology and modern strategies, we're able to pull out the good things, separate off all of the, the fiber and the indigestible parts, and then concentrate down all of the active constituents that we need. So you'll notice that the powders have a much stronger taste, much stronger color and effect than if you were to make a tea, which is why I prefer the powdered extract for some herbs. And in some herbs, it's just easier to make a tea. It's cheaper, easier, whatever. They taste good, they extract easily, things like that. Some herbs, obviously, reishi, shubu, cordyceps, sustange, chaga, those things don't really extract easily in a tea form or even making your own tinctures at home. So that's why I find that and even things like eleuthero as well, because it's such a hard root bark. But so that's why I find that the powders are so much easier to use. So yeah, hopefully that's answered your questions on that. And if you have any other questions or comments, post them below or email me. And I'll talk to you soon.